Bulgarian barbell split squat. Now, some things to keep in mind. Here I'm using some soft plyometric boxes for the exercise. You could get away, or usually most people will use like a bench when performing this, or even using the safety arms as a mount for your foot. These are all great options. This is just the one I'm using today so that I can move it around for demonstration purposes. Now, when setting up, you want to make sure that whatever you're using for the elevation of the back foot is behind you and the rack is in front of you. Reason being is we always want to face the rack, so that way when we've finished our set, we can then re-rack the bar easily and safely. Again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be doing it the opposite way so that you can see what I'm doing and see what the movement looks like. But when you're doing this on your own, always face the rack and the elevation will be behind you when performing the exercise. Now, going back to the elevation again, using a bench, using a plyometric box, using one of the rack arms, whatever, that's fine. Just make sure that it's not going to slide on you. If that's the case, if it's going to slip on you, put some weight plates or something behind it so that it won't move. All right. So let's just pretend for a second that this bar is loaded and I'm going to set myself up correctly and safely. There wouldn't be this elevation behind me, in front of me, because this would make for a very hard position to unrack from. Set up, unrack. Definitely wouldn't be turning around like this. And then what's going to happen is you're going to take, say, three and a half steps away from the elevation. One foot's going to go back and you're just going to sink down till the knee touches the floor and then come back up. Bulgarian split squat, that's it. Simple, straightforward. 1, 2, 3. Easy. Now, some things to keep in mind when performing this movement. 1, posture is key. So start with a lightweight, build confidence, and then you can increase it from there, assuming your posture is good. Secondly, the back leg that's on the elevation isn't doing any work. Maybe 5% of the work, if that. That front leg is doing everything. So you really need to make sure that you're focusing on pushing and driving through that front leg. Some other little tips and tricks. If you want to make the movement more hip dominant, so glute dominant, keep the shin vertical whilst performing the exercise. If you want to make it more quad dominant, shift the knee forward when performing the exercise. Some common mistakes when performing this exercise is having the foot up against the elevation like this. Reason this is an issue is it's going to make you more prone to push through the back leg when performing the split squat. That's a common problem. You want the foot to be flat. If your foot cramps up, stretch it out, do a standard calf stretch, and then go back and try again. Over time, it'll get better. That's a common mistake. Another common mistake is not stepping out far enough. You want there to be space, you want there to be distance. If you're too close, you'll find you're pushing through your back leg and your knee and hip and your front leg and your back leg don't have enough space for each other. So it's a very cramped, uncomfortable situation. So make sure you've got enough distance. On the other hand, sometimes people go too far. So generally, general rule of thumb, about 3.5 steps away is about the sort of distance you need to perform the exercise. Don't be afraid to play with it. Lastly, you want to make sure that your knee touches the floor, and that's sort of your point of reference as to how low you go down. Now, if I was to perform this on my own in a gym, this would be the correct way of doing it. Rack is here, elevation is here, facing the rack, set myself up, unrack the bar, step back, feel for the elevation, and then perform my split squats. 1, 2, 3. Safe, easy, and I know where I'm going when I'm putting the bar back as well.